I want to talk to you about the word relaxed and how it applies to a certain question that you portrayed to me. Let's start there.
I guess for context, I completely changed how I set goals back in 2014. I had been following Vern Harnish and Gino Wickman, Mastering Rockefeller Habits, EOS, and I had KPIs and metrics for everything as the top line filter of how I was living my life. You need to hit this KPI in order to do that. You need to do this many hours or this many calls, breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. What I found is I was working 7 days a week, harder than I'd ever worked. Fortunately, I had good revenue. The net margin wasn't good as what I wanted. But what was really bad is the lack of return on lifestyle. I had gone from pretty much a year of living like a hippie and transitioning from a $250,000 position in Maui to becoming unemployable, taking a year off to live through British Columbia, Alberta, and most of the national parks in North America. So I'd gone from like that, feeling like I'd gotten that, being really adventurous and not like letting lifestyle lead, to building a real estate team, flipping houses, having a single family portfolio, doing private equity deals. I got really good at being really busy and broke my rules. So in 2014, in one day, I made a hard decision to shut down 3 companies, reset my goals, and really focus. And the number one focus became on lifestyle. And what I did there is I switched to feeling-based goal setting, which I had never really heard of. I was driving back from a wedding in Ohio, and I heard a lady named Danielle Laporte mention that. And I went home that night, basically didn't sleep. I listened to her. I just took that inspiration. I just kept going round and round in my head. I couldn't get rid of it. So finally at 4 o'clock in the morning, I gave up, got out of bed, went to my desk, and I wrote down about 100 words that are how I want to feel in life, what actually drives me to do anything, fun, business, otherwise. And I combine those. If 3 were synonymous, I would pick the one that had the most feeling to me. But I ended up coming up with only 5. So those became my 5 core desired feelings, which were relaxed, adventurous, loved, respected, and significant. And relaxed is always at the top of that list. And it's also what made me hit the reset button in a major way, because I was working 7 days a week, 16, 18 hours a day. From the outside, it looked sexy, right? Like the metaphor I use is riding a lion. It's like everyone looks at you and you're like, holy shit, that guy's a stud. He's riding that lion. And you're thinking, I'm going to have to pee at some point. When I get off, I'm pretty sure this lion's going to eat me. And that's what I was doing. I was riding the lion. And it was just a matter of time until, metaphorically, maybe having to pee is getting cancer or having anxiety issues or however our body manifests that level of acute stress. And I just realized I was out of alignment with who I said I was going to be. So relaxed became the predominant one of those core desired feelings. And for me, that really means like not feeling guilty, not feeling stressed or obligated, and just being comfortable with your own lifestyle choices. So that's what relaxed means to me. It's those core desired feelings are what I pass everything through first. And then we hit KPIs. And I now run all my companies on EOS. So we literally track hundreds of metrics per week, per month, per quarter. So it's not that I could say that KPIs aren't necessary. What I'm saying is that the way you want to feel in life is far more important than the KPIs that it'll take to get there. So I would encourage you to rethink, like, how do you want to feel? And then what KPIs do you need to help achieve that feeling? So if you want to feel relaxed, you're probably not going to be a syndication sponsor. And that was one of the things I had to say no to. I pulled back. I was trained by one of the nation's top syndicators. I was going to go into multifamily and mobile home park syndications, build a fund. I had the relationships. I had the knowledge. But when I looked at it, I'm not a detail guy. If you're doing private placements, you really have to watch. You have to make sure you're compliant. You have to watch a lot. And sometimes you get stuck in deals. Even if you don't like it, it's your deal for the next 10 years because you have that. You're maybe not legally, but I feel like a fiduciary to my investors. So for me, that was something that was a quick no. I don't need to be a deal sponsor because I don't want that much responsibility. It doesn't make me feel relaxed. It's challenging. It's fun. Like I could do it. I'm capable, but it takes me away from those goals. It really shaped what I invest in, what my investment strategies were. Ultimately, I ended up closing 3 companies, liquidating a real estate portfolio, transitioning to a passive investor versus an active investor, and just focusing on travel. Last year, I lived in 23 states in an RV, and I met hundreds of new people, went to all kinds of cool places, practically lived in national parks or national forest, and spent a whopping total of $27,000 net is what I spent last year. So it's somewhat of a game at this point to see, just how much you can continue production, like how many people you can impact, how much money you can actually stash away, but how simple you can make your life and how comfortable that can be.
Yeah, and that's huge because I remember you and I were speaking and I was telling you my goals and I was super proud of everything that I was doing, and I had just done a new Vivid Vision. And I'm all in. All the chips are on the table for the Vivid Vision now because I've done it and I've got proof of concept because it works, because I'm recording this one in Belgium. So right now it is September 8th. I'm over in Belgium as I'm recording this, and I accomplished my vision because that was my first vision, was to be able to quit my job and go do what I want, when I want, with who I want. And so I was writing out this vision. I'm talking to Chad about it, and he's like, "How do you want to feel, dude?" And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, "I guess I'll feel happy when I do all this stuff that's on the page." And so it's just a really cool flip-flop, and that really stuck out to me so much that I went and I did the edits immediately. And now I get where you're coming from, to where it's, you want to begin with the emotion and you want to begin with how you feel and then add KPIs. We're not saying throw KPIs out the window. We're just saying, instead of leading with the KPIs and hoping you feel a certain way, you lead with the emotions and then you attack the KPIs to get there. I like that.